Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and I am super excited to share with you today these 3 beautiful projects made using products from the Peaceful Poppies Suite from the January to June mini catalog by Stampin' Up! Now, these projects are super easy to put together, believe it or not. They are not complicated thanks to the awesome dies that are included in this suite. So let me just pull in the catalog spread for you as people are tuning in. So this is the Peaceful Poppies Suite, as I mentioned. It's on pages 24 through 27 of the January to June mini. And today we're going to be using items, stamps, and images or die cuts from both of the bundles included in this suite. So this is what Stampin' Up! Refers to as a mega suite because it has 2 bundles included. And really the 2 bundles are intended to work hand in hand. Now let me just flip over the page. And I'm going to show you, actually, you know what? I'll just show you in real life. It's easier than showing you in the catalog. So as I said, there are 2 bundles included in this suite. So the first one is the Painted Poppies bundle. So it includes the Painted Poppies stamp set and this awesome set of dies called Painted Labels. So it has several different label shapes. Hi Heather, hi Jen. As well as some dies that cut out stamped images in the Painted Poppies stamp set. Now, this die set and the other one right now are not orderable due to some shortages from a little certain pandemic that's going on coming out of China. So these are not orderable right now. They're due back in stock mid-April, but I wanted to showcase these awesome products so that when they do become available again, you can put them on your wish list. Okay, so this stamp set I'm going to talk a little bit more about at the end of the video. I have another fun video planned for later in the week that features this stamp set, but I'll talk more about that later. Hi Claire, how are you doing today? So that is the first bundle, and then we have the second bundle, which includes the Peaceful Moments stamp set and the Poppy Moments dies. Now, these dies are absolutely gorgeous. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Hi, Chris. So these dies are designed to make poppy and floral and leaf images just with the dies. So we're going to focus on that today. And then there is a coordinating sentiment based stamp set. All of these sentiments, most of them, fit in the labels that are from the other die set. So as I said, these 2 die sets are intended to work together. Sadly, this one is also not orderable at the moment, but again, should be in mid-April. And if you haven't yet got it, I think you'll probably want to add it to your wish list by the time I'm done. Hi, Gail. How are you doing? Okay, so let's get to some projects. I'm going to get the catalog out of the way. And we are going to start with this awesome fun fold. Now, I have to say, when I first saw this fun fold, I saw one that was done by a demonstrator on Pinterest. I was like, not Pinterest, sorry, Instagram. I thought, nope, too complicated, not going to do it. But you know what? It's actually pretty simple. So this one has a belly band to hold it shut, okay? And this is actually just a double easel card. So it opens up, and we have our poppy that stands up there. And then these flaps kind of come like wings behind it. Isn't that cool? It looks really, really complicated and it's a total wow, but I'm going to show you it's really quite easy to make this card, okay? All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to set our sample aside and we're going to pull in our materials. So here, I'm going to start, we're going to make our card base first. This is just a half sheet of Mossy Meadow cardstock. So it's 5.5 by 8.5 inches, okay? And we're going to start by doing some cutting and scoring. So normally I have all of this done ahead of time for you, but because this is a fun fold, we're going to do it all right from scratch. I hope you guys don't have any place to be because this will take a little while. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting my 8.5 inch side at the top, and I am going to score at 4 1/4 like I normally would for just a standard size card. Okay, just like that. So you can see the score line there, okay? Now I'm going to turn my card base 90 degrees and I'm going to have the 5.5 inch side at the top. Hi Debbie, how are you doing? And I'm going to line it up at the 2 3/4 inch mark on my trimmer, okay? So that's half the width, right? And then I'm going to bring in my cutting blade and I'm going to line it up. There is a ruler on my trimmer. So I'm going to start at 5.5 inches and cut down from there. So now I've just cut the front flap of my card base. Okay, so far so good? I hope so. All right, now I'm going to do diagonal score lines. I'm going to try and turn this a way that you guys can see it. So what I want to do is line up this corner with my cutting track. Oh, I've got my stuff in the way there. I'm going to slide this down just a bit. And I want to line up the top of that cut line in my cutting track. Okay, now I could do this with my scoring blade, but I like to be really accurate. So I'm using the stylus end on my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to run that right along the cutting track in my trimmer. And that is going to give me a nice clean score line. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing the other way. Hi Deb, how are you? Hi Alfie. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing the other way. So again, I'm gonna line up my corner in my cutting track and I'm going to line up the end of that cut. And again, I'm gonna take my stylus and just run it down along that cutting track. And that gives me my flaps. Pretty simple, right? It is really simple. Amazingly simple. All right, now before I put my trimmer away, we need to cut our DSP panels that are going to layer onto our base. Okay, so we're going to cut these panels here. So this is DSP that is cut to, I believe it's 4 by 2 3/4. Yes, 4 by 2 3/4. 4 this way by 2 3/4 this way. Okay, and again, I'm going to go corner to corner, lining up the corners of my DSP in my cutting track. Now, when I'm cutting on a diagonal like this, I like to start in the middle of the paper, and that is so that I don't catch my corners with my blade, so that I get a nice clean cut. Okay, just like that. And then same thing with this one, it's going to go the opposite direction. So we're going to line those up, line up the corners in our cutting track, and then same thing. Okay, and there are my panels. Easy peasy, that's all the cutting there is. So easy. All right, so I'm taking back my card base here, and I'm going to pull out my bone folder, and we are going to burnish our score line. So we're going to first of all fold our card in half, just like we would any other greeting card. Okay, and then I'm going to open it up and take these diagonal scores and fold them outwards like this. Okay, and you can see how that is going to work for our base like that. Okay, pretty simple, right? Okay, so now we're going to add our DSP. So as I said, we're going to just layer these right here onto each one of these little triangles. I'm going to use a little bit of Tombow for that. Hi Alfie, how are you doing? Oh, my Tombow's getting low here. We're going to have to restock. Got to add a little bit more in here. So I'm going to just layer that right there on my triangle, and then same thing on the other one. Oh, time for more Tombow. Okay, we'll pop that guy on there. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So these are going to go like this. So is everybody getting lots of crafting time in with all of this staying at home business? I have more crafting time than I know what to do with right now. I actually am cleaning my house thoroughly for the first time since Christmas time. It's actually been pretty good for so far. And like I said, lots and lots of crafting time, which is good because I still have lots of products from the mini catalog that I have not yet even inked up. Glad you're keeping out of trouble, Elfie. That's the best we can hope for, right? Okay, so that is how my base is going to work, just like that. Okay, now we also need to put a piece of DSP on the inside. for our flaps to sit on. So again, this is the same designer series paper. This is cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And this time I'm going to use just a little bit of fast fuse to adhere that. Hi Margie, how are you doing? So we'll pop this on here like that. Okay, so now you can see how our card base is taking shape. Super simple, right? So simple. All right, next I have a label, and we actually have 2 labels here. So we have our large label that is going to go here, and that's actually going to get popped up so that these flaps can catch on that, and that's what's going to allow our easel on the sides. Okay, so we are going to go ahead, actually no, we're not going to glue that on yet. We're going to stamp our sentiment next. So our inside sentiment, this is going to be a birthday card. So on the inside it's going to say, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. Hi Debbie, working on Easter cards. Yes, I think all of us will probably be sending more Easter cards this year. I was thinking about that this afternoon. So I'm thinking next week I need to do some Easter card ideas, because I'm guessing this Easter will be a little bit different. I will need a moment of silence when I run out of fast fuse, Deb. Don't even say that. I'm hoping it doesn't happen until Stampin' Up has a replacement. So I am stamping the sentiment in Mossy Meadow ink. Okay, and I'm going to glue that to my label. I'm actually going to pop it up on here with a couple of dimensionals. I am not thinking about the possibility of running out of fast fuse. It will be a tragic, tragic day. Like I said, I am rationing. I am only really using in my videos and very sparingly for my own crafting. Okay, so there we have our label. Now this is going to get popped up on here, but before we do that, we have to do our flowers. So let me pull out all of these little bits. And we also need our magical little piece that's going to be our easel. Where'd it go? Come here, you. There are so many bits and pieces here that I've die cut. I can't grab the right one. All right, here we go. So this little piece is going to be our easel. I'm just going to show you on the sample here for a minute. Get this out of the way. So we have this little piece here. See this little guy here? This is going to be the piece that helps our poppy stand up. Okay, so to do that, this is just a strip. It is 3/4 of an inch by, where's my ruler? 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4, and I've scored it at 3/4 and 1 3/4. Okay, I will put all of these measurements up afterwards so that you have them. Okay, so 3/4 inches by 2 1/4, and then scored at 3/4 and 1 3/4. Okay, so then I'm just going to fold along my little score lines here. Okay, and then this is going to get glued. The smallest piece, so this is like a little 1/4 inch piece, is going to get glued to the back of my green label. So I'm just going to add a little bit of fast fuse there, or not fast fuse, Tombow. Got fast fuse on the brain, Debbie. Yours is available? That's good to know, Alfie. I may be making a trip to Guelph to pick up some fast fuse. I'll do a port pickup. Okay, so now I have my little mini easel for my flower that's attached to my label. Now I'm ready to go ahead and attach that to the front of my card. So the easiest way I have found to attach this, first of all, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my label. So I'm going to use probably 6, because this will get a little bit of wear and tear, because it is going to be supporting our flower and the sides, the sort of wings on the base of the card. So we're going to pop this on. Now, when you are gluing this on, you want to make sure that your sides, see if I can get this in the view so you can see it. So I want this to be flush with the edge of my card. I don't want it to be sticking out too far, right? I don't want them standing out past the edge of the card. So I want it to be like right there. Okay. So when I put this on, I'm going to kind of stand my wings up, and I want to make sure that when I put this on, don't stick yet, that it is straight and it is centered. Kind of like that. Okay, so then my wings can stand up and they don't extend past the end of the card. You see how that works? All right. Okay, so now we're going to assemble our poppy for the inside of the card. So here I have a poppy that's cut from Rich Razzleberry cardstock. So this is the solid one. It's the large solid poppy from the die set. And then I have sort of the detailed outline poppy that's cut from basic black cardstock. Now I've added a little bit of multi-purpose adhesive sheets, which I know we don't carry anymore, to the back of this. You can actually glue this on with Tombow. I just did this for speed during my video because I didn't think you'd want to watch me put little teeny dots of glue all over this. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my outline to my solid. Okay, and you'll see that that lines up perfectly. Okay, so now I have a beautiful poppy. Then I have a center. These look like little spiders to me, or little viruses. And we are going to go ahead and glue that in the center of our poppy. But before we do that, we're going to add a little bit of Winkostella, because you know, a card isn't a card without some sparkle. So we're going to go ahead and just bling up that little germ. And we're going to pop that onto the front of our card with a glue dot. I got glue dots in a box. I don't usually have glue dots in a box. We'll get rid of that box because the box is really quite useless if you ask me. So we're going to pop that on there, and then that's going to go right there in the center of our poppy. Okay, now we're also going to add a couple of leaves. So here I have some die cut leaves. Where's my other leaf? Am I missing a leaf? I think I might be missing a leaf. Oh, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll just do one leaf on this one. So these, again, are die cut using those same dies. And I'm going to add just a couple of little dabs of Tombow here to sort of the detail. This is cut from Mossy Meadow cardstock, and the solid leaf is cut from Old Olive. You're going to see that combination a lot today because I really like that combo. You're right. I know, Deb, it does look like the virus. Sorry to bring that up. That's what I think of every time I see that particular die cut. Okay, so we're going to add our leaf to the back of our poppy, and I'm going to add it just with a glue dot. And we're going to pop that on. Now, we want to make sure that when we put this on, we don't want the leaf to go out to the side too far, or it will get in the way of our wings, right? So we want to make sure, if we stand this up, that the leaf is going to go sort of upwards, not out, okay? I can always add another leaf to this later so that it has two. But then we're just going to go ahead and glue this onto our little easel. So again, we're going to stand this up where it's going to go, and then we're just going to glue that to the little easel. Okay, so there we have our poppy, and there we have our wings. Now I didn't burnish those very well, but you get the idea. I gotta burnish my folds a bit more so that it'll stand up. Let me do that right now so that you believe me that this is a really simple fun fold. So we're gonna just burnish that so it stands nice and flat. There we go. And we'll stand up our poppy. There we go. Look how cute that is. So cute. The card is done, you guys. It's done. So simple. Now we're going to do a belly band because this doesn't lay especially flat when you have it closed. Okay, so that is our finished card. You can, if you'd like, add, if you want a place to write, you can add white cardstock in here. Or what I have done is add just a panel of Whisper White to the back so that you can write a message. Okay, so to make our belly band, here I have a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock. It is 1¼ inches wide by 11 inches long. Okay, and all I'm going to do is lay my card over my belly, or my strip of cardstock, and I'm going to loosely wrap it around my card. I don't want to wrap it really, really tight because then I won't be able to slide it on and off easily, and I don't want it to be too hard to get on and off the card. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And again, we're just going to lay that across the middle of the card and stick it down. Okay, so then that'll slide nice and easily. Okay, then we have another piece of DSP. So this is that beautiful polka dot. This is cut to 1 inch by 11. And again, I'm going to just wrap this around my card. So I'm, again, going to center this on my cardstock. All right, and then that is going to wrap around. Hi, Sue. How you doing? Welcome home. Okay, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and glue that on. I'm going to add just a strip of fast fuse all the way down here. We're gonna stick that on, making sure it's centered. Centered is better than not. Oh, it was better before. I should have left well enough alone. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more at the top of this. And we're gonna wrap that around and line her up. Okay, so simple. So that's our belly band. And then of course we're gonna decorate it because, well, we can't have a plain belly band, right? We need to decorate it. So we have here, this is a die cut from the, which die set is it? It's the one that goes with the Peaceful Poppy stamp set. Okay, let me just bring it in here so you can see it. It's this die here, all right? So I've cut this from gold glimmer paper. And then I have a 2-inch basic black circle. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Where'd I put my scrap white cardstock? Where'd you go, scrap white cardstock? I could have sworn I had some. Let me grab some. Hang on. I could have sworn I put one in this package, but apparently I didn't. All right, so here we have some cardstock. We are going to stamp our happy birthday, again in Mossy Meadow ink. Oh, I got a dimensional backing stuck to the back of my block. It figures. So we'll stamp our happy birthday, and then I'm going to use my 1 1/4 inch circle punch to pop that out. So we'll just pop that out of there, just like that. And then that is going to get glued onto my black circle. I forgot to bring up your comments on my iPad. I gotta bring it up so I can see what you guys are saying. Hang on here. Where's my video? Let's see if I can pull up my video. Where am I? There we are. Okay, now I can see you guys. Okay, so then this is going to get popped up onto my little gold piece here. Hi, Mary Jane, how are you? So again, I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals here. And we'll pop this onto here, just like that. Okay, and now we're going to build another poppy. So here I have the smaller poppy. This one's sort of a little bit of a profile. So I've cut the solid one out of rich raspberry cardstock, and then the outline out of basic black. And I've added a little bit of multi-purpose adhesive sheet to the back of this one as well. Get rid of all my little bits that are stuck to my fingers. There we go. And then we're going to line this up. And again, you're going to see that this lines up just perfectly. Okay. And then we have another little half a virus. This is just a little half one. Again, we're going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella to that, just to give it some sparkle. And then this time I'm going to roll a glue dot because this is pretty teeny. Hi Martine, how are you? We're going to roll that and then stick our little flower center onto that, and then, whoopsie, stick that to the center of our poppy like that. Okay, and then we have this gorgeous branch, and this is one of my favorite dies. They work beautifully individually. If you wanted to, you could have the two individually like that, but they're also designed to layer perfectly so that you get sort of variegated color. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to glue these guys together. So again, just adding little teeny dots of Tombow. You don't need a lot of glue to stick these on. And we're going to stick this onto here, just like, whoopsie, that. Okay. And, oops, that one didn't line up all that well. I'll fix that one up. Okay, so now you'll notice on my sample that I have two sets of leaves. This is actually one sprig that I've cut in half. So what we're going to do is take and cut this right at the base where those two last leaves sort of split. And then all I did is I kind of trimmed it to tidy it up a little bit. And we're going to stick one set here and then the other set here, and it's going to look like two sets of leaves. Isn't that cool? Once through the big shot, two sets of leaves. So we'll add a glue dot here and then another glue dot here. pop that right about there. Okay, and then that is going to adhere just to the bottom edge of our circle. So I'm going to add a dimensional right down here. Now you're going to see that that's going to be sticky on here, but that's okay because we're going to stick it onto our belly band in a sec. And I'm going to add a little bit of Tombow just at the top where it's going to overlap my label. And we're going to pop that on just like that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. Okay, then that is going to stick onto our belly band just like that. So we're going to add a little bit of adhesive here. And we're just going to stick that right on. Centered on there and preferably straight. Isn't that pretty? Now you may want to add, actually I'm going to add a dimensional right underneath my little poppy here so that it lies flat. So we're going to just get rid of that backing. Come here, you little backing. Of course, now that I'm trying to do it, I have tucked a dimensional in there. I will worry about the backing later, but there you go. That's that, okay? And again, on the inside, when you stand it up, this is what you get. Isn't that pretty? I love this. This would be awesome. You know what I was thinking? It would be cute to do a little Post-it note pad here and have this standing on somebody's desk. I think I might actually make one of those for myself when I go back to school. If I go back to school this year, we shall see. Okay, so that is easy fun folds, but such a wow, right? Not hard at all, but made a wow with the awesome dies in this set. So let's get this out of the way and clean up a little bit, and we're going to move on to number 2. I have a very long tail on my glue dots. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get rid of all of these bits. And we're moving on. Okay. Card number 2 is this one. So this one, again, not difficult at all, thanks to the die. So it's really just a matter of assembling the card. There's not a lot of stamping. The only stamping is, make sure I'm grabbing the right one here. The only stamping is our sentiment, okay? That's the great thing. Oh, yes, a calendar, Heather, would look awesome. Yes, it absolutely would. Great idea. See, this is why I need you guys. You guys give me great ideas. Okay, so let's get our bits and bobs out for this card. If I got the wrong, I do have the wrong one. It figures. Told you I was going to grab the wrong one. I need this one. And this kit. There we go. All right, I got myself together here. This is the one we need. I grabbed the wrong card kit. That's for the last one. Okay, so again, we have a whole bunch of bits. Lots of die cut bits in this. And we're going to start with our background. So this is some of the gorgeous, 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 gorgeous DSP that is part of this suite. Thank you, Peggy. I'm glad you like it. I cannot get enough of this DSP. It has beautiful florals on one side, and this particular side has floral on the other, but a lot of the other patterns have neutrals or just basic patterns, which are awesome because it makes it really versatile. So this piece is cut to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm going to start by adding a little bit of ribbon. So this is the crinkled seam binding ribbon. It is white, which is awesome because you can color it with your Stampin' Blends. So you can make ribbon in any color you need, and it is super, super easy to work with. So this is 1/4 inch ribbon, and 1/4 inch is my favorite width to work with because I feel like it's just the right scale, right? It's the right width for cards. So I'm just adding a little bit of ribbon across the front of my card, sort of about 2/3 the way down. Okay, just like that. And now we're going to start building our label. So first thing we're going to do is stamp our sentiment. So this label die is from that same set of dies as that swirly one was. So this is this label die. And the cool thing about these dies is they actually add an embossed edge around. Can you see that? See the embossed edge on there? So it makes it look really, really elegant. So I'm going to take my Memento Black ink pad and I'm going to stamp Thinking of You with All My Heart. Hi, Karen. How are you doing down there? I hope things are working out down there for you guys as well. So when I stamp this, I'm going to stamp it sort of in the bottom right corner of my label because I want to make sure I have room for my poppy. Okay, really the poppy is kind of stealing the show on this card. It's not about the sentiment at all. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is add just a little bit of decoration to the bottom of my label. So this is another die cut from that same set of dies. It's this one here, and I've cut it again from some gold glimmer paper. So I'm going to add just a little bit of fast fuse. You can use snail, whatever, just a little bit of tape along the bottom of my label. And then it's easy to add that just along there. Whoopsie, stick. I probably put my fast fuse too high. There we go. Now I'm going to stick it to my grid paper. It's one of those days, you guys. Yep, here we go. Look at that. It's sticking to my grid paper and not to my label. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's put our fast fuse a little lower this time. And we'll try that again. There we go. Now it'll stick. Okay. All right. Now I need to build my poppy. So here again, I have the solid poppy cut from Poppy Parade cardstock and the outline cut from Basic Black. Now this time I did not use some of the multi-purpose adhesive sheets. So I'm going to show you just how easy this is to glue on. So I find when I'm gluing this, I put little tiny dots of Tombow right sort of where the lines and the outline intersect. It's kind of a little bit more space there. And I find that is the easiest way to put the glue on without having it ooze out from under my die cut. Okay, and that sticks just like that. Yeah, it is the same. It is the same all the way around. Hi, Krista. Thanks for joining me all the way from Breslau. You are very close to my husband. He's working in Breslau today. So there's my poppy. Now I have that same combination of leaves. So this is Old Olive. This is Mossy Meadow. So again, I'm going to add some little dabs of glue on here, and we're going to layer that on the Old Olive. And again, these dies work really nicely on their own as well if you want some sort of contrasting size leaves. Okay, now again, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the last card, but this time I'm going to trim this actually up here, and you're going to see why in a minute. Okay, so now I have my two pieces. And we're going to make some little poppy buds. So I have these little leaves and these little sort of ovals. Now when I got this die set, I really was not sure what those were for. Okay, they're these little dies here. And then I saw someone else had made a card and made little buds with them. And I'm like, oh, so that's what they're for. See, that's why we need Pinterest, right? Nope, no gushing. No gushing at all. Okay, so we are going to add... So I just added a glue dot and then tucked my little oval, and look at that, we have a little poppy bud. Isn't that cute? Am I the only one that wasn't sure what those dies were for? Please tell me I'm not the only one. I'm hoping I'm not the only one. Maybe I am the only one. Okay, so I've made my little buds. Now on this one that I cut, see how I cut a little stem there? I'm going to add my little bud onto that stem. Look at that. And then we have a stem and some leaves for our bud. Okay, it's going to go just like that. And then we're going to also add this one. So first we're going to stick these leaves onto our poppy. So I'm going to just use a glue dot. You will go through a lot of glue dots with these dies. The glue dots tend to be the easiest way to assemble these things. And we're going to add the other one out this way. Okay, so we'll add this one out here. Okay, so there's our poppy and bud number one. And then this bud already has a little branch, so we're going to add it. These dies are so much fun to work with. If you like flowers and you like floral arranging, you will love these dies. Okay, so then that is going to get popped on to our tag just like that. So I'm going to add just a little bit of Tombow here, just so that that sticks onto my tag, just like that. Okay, and then we need to do our centers. So here I have two centers, so I'm going to start with the gold one. And again, I'm going to roll a glue dot and pick that up. Oh, I'm glad you found me, Karen. Thanks, or Krista, sorry. I'm looking off to the side as I'm doing this, and I thought I read Karen, but I see Krista. I'm glad you found me. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so then I'm going to take the black one. As I didn't like it just gold in the center, I wanted just a hint of gold, but I didn't want it to overpower the poppy. So by layering the gold and black, we get just a hint of gold peeking out from behind the black center, and it just makes the center pop a little bit. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Okay, so then this is going to go onto our card with some dimensionals. And I like to add dimensionals along where I put my fast fuse, just so that it doesn't stick flat. Sometimes that'll happen. So we'll just get rid of the backings here. I broke my thumbnail, so I'm working with a bit of a handicap today because my thumbnail is shorter than I like it to be for crafting. So this is going to get glued on right about there, just like that. Okay, isn't that pretty? Okay, now we're ready to glue it onto our card base. Our card base is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. It's scored in the middle at 5 1/2. I'm going to fold in half along my score line. And we're going to just add a little bit of fast fuse to the back of our DSP panel. And we will pop this on just like that. There we go. Now one last thing, we're going to add a little bow because you know me, I can't let you go without a bow tying lesson. So here we go. So I'm going to bring back some of that white seam binding. And hang on, I got to clear any email notification. There we go. Now I can see ya. So I'm going to take my white seam binding and I'm going to make my 2 bunny ears by pinching between my thumb and my index finger. Okay, and again, I want to make sure my ribbon is flat. It's not twisted. Cross my left over the right, bring the loop around and through, and pull. And then it's just a matter of adjusting your loops to the size that you want. Now this ribbon, like I said, is quite nice to work with. It holds the knot quite nicely, so you can pull it nice and tight and then adjust the size of your loops and they stay. It doesn't slip and slide on you. Okay, and then I'm going to trim my tails. And then that is going to tuck in right next to my poppy, just like that. So we'll add a glue dot to our knot and tuck that in right there. Isn't that pretty? Done and done. Now you may want to add a couple of dimensionals here and there just so that these all lie flat to make sure that they stay down, but that's it. Okay, now I'll show you. I added a few of the little poppy sequins, the Peaceful Poppies Suite sequins. I'm not going to take the time to do that right now, but I just added an extra little pop of gold on my sample. And then on the inside, I stamped another sentiment and some of the images from the Peaceful Poppies stamp set. Okay, so that is that one. Done and done. We will get these out of the way. I'm going to save my black ink pad because I'm going to need that. And we're going to bring in our last project, which is this one. So I don't know about you, but I am extremely grateful to all of the healthcare workers who are working around the clock these days. And I actually have some nurses on my team. And I am going to make a point of sending a thank you card out to all of the nurses that I know because they are working really, really hard these days. And I want them to know how much I appreciate all that they're doing. So I thought this would be a lovely one to send. I love that it's kind of red and white for Canada. So I'm going to show you how to put this one together. Again, not difficult, thanks to these awesome dies. So we're going to bring in first a piece of the DSP. So this is the DSP that has the beautiful field of poppies on it, but on the back, it just sort of has like a wash of Poppy Parade. So I'm going to use that as my base. And to add a little bit of extra texture, I'm going to use a spatter stamp from the Peaceful Poppies stamp set. And I'm going to stamp in Poppy Parade ink. Okay, so I'm going to stamp a few times. Again, making sure I turn my stamp and adding just a little bit of texture to my DSP. Okay, not a lot, just a little hint. I'm actually going to add just a titch more, maybe a little bit here and a little bit there. There we go. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? All right, let's get that out of the way because that's all stamping with that we're going to do. Okay, next we are going to build our poppy again. So let me just bring in all my little bits and bobs. So here again, I have another one of those gold swirlies cut from gold glimmer paper. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment in black ink. And then we're going to punch it out. I just put my thumb in the ink pad. That's always good. We'll ink up our thank you and stamp. And this time I'm using my 2-inch circle punch. Okay. I think all of us should make a point of sending thank you cards to any healthcare providers or anybody who's working on the front line. I saw something online today about people who are making thank you cards to give to the cashiers at the grocery store and the pharmacies, because they are out doing their best at this time when all of us are staying safe at home. So I think that's a great idea, and what an awesome way to share kindness and light in this really, really uncertain time. Okay, so I punched out my circle. We are going to go ahead and glue that on with just a little bit of fast fuse in the center of our little swirly here, just like that. Okay, now again, we're going to build our poppy. So this is the same way. Now this time I actually cut my poppy out of the same DSP. I wanted it to kind of have that same sort of soft look. I didn't want it to be solid like cardstock was, so I actually cut my poppy base out of the DSP so that it would blend a little bit better with my background. So again, we're adding just a little bit of glue, and we're going to layer that on here, just like that. And we are going to build some leaves. So here again, we have our Old Olive solid leaf, and then our Mossy Meadow layer. So again, we're gonna add just a little bit of glue to these and layer them up. Oh, I'm sticking to my grid paper. I got some fast fuse on there. So we're gonna add this one on here, just like that. And we got another one here. Same thing. A few little dots and dabs. Cards to nursing homes is an awesome idea. I love that idea, Deb. There are a lot of seniors who are shut in and cannot get out. And should not get out, certainly with everything that's going on. So absolutely, sending cards to nursing homes is a brilliant idea. So I'm going to take and layer my two leaves like that, and then I'm going to adhere them to the back of my poppy. Okay, so I'm going to add just a couple of glue dots here, and we're going to adhere them to our poppy kind of like that. All right, then that is going to get popped up on the front of our label. So we're going to add a couple of dimensionals. I'm almost out of dimensionals again. You'd think I kind of was addicted to dimensionals or something the way I go through them. It's kind of crazy. All right, so we're going to pop that onto there just like that. Okay, and then we're going to create some more little buds to put at the top. So again, we're going to layer our leaves. Okay, you guys, you think that's a great idea? I want to see you all take action this week, okay? So we're all going to make a point of making cards and sending cards to brighten the days of those who are suffering the most through this whole pandemic, okay? That's our goal this week, is to share kindness and light and love through this whole mess that we are in, okay? All right, so again, I'm going to trim this off. So I have my stem for my little bud. And again, we're gonna add a glue dot. And I cut my buds as well for this one. Oops, I put my glue dot on the wrong side. I cut my buds from the DSP as well. So we have one there. And then we have another one here. And we'll pop this on here. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to add a glue dot to the back of that and add that to our little stem here. Okay, and then this one is going to just get layered on top of the leaves like that. So we'll add a glue dot and just pop that on there. Okay, and then what I did is I actually fed these through the little gold swirlies to adhere them. Okay, and that just kind of makes them look like they're kind of growing up from behind, just to add some depth and texture here. There we go. And then we'll add our other one just like this. Tuck that in there. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Love it, love it. Oh, I almost forgot my little half germ, half virus. Gonna add a little wink again to this guy before we stick him down. And we'll just roll a glue dot again and stick that to there, and then that's gonna go on there just like that. Okay, isn't that pretty? Just like that. So pretty. Okay, all right, to finish this off, we are going to add a little bit of ribbon. So one of the things that I like to do whenever I'm designing is to always make sure whatever I'm putting on my card is anchored. So I could just add this to this like this and leave it. But I feel better, or I feel it looks better when I anchor it with something in behind. So that's why I've added this ribbon. So it's just a little bit of ribbon. Where are my glue dots? They're hiding. So I'm going to put this over, I don't know, about 1.5 inches. Trim this off the roll. Oh no, you left it up north, Heather. We need a rescue mission to go and get your craft supplies from your cabin. I might actually be willing to do that. I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands over the next few weeks. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and layer that. This is just a piece of basic black cardstock. It is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 inches, so 1/8 of an inch bigger on both sides than my DSP. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that with a bit of fast fuse. So we'll just pop this on here. Just like that. Okay, and then this is going to get glued on with a couple of dimensionals. And I'm fast running out of dimensionals. I think I might just have enough to finish this card, and then it's going to be time for another sheet. I'm going to tuck this guy in behind here and peel off the backing. And we'll get rid of these guys. And again, you probably will want to add, maybe we'll do that, we'll add a couple of minis to the back of these little buds here so that they stay put. I'll put one here. And then that, oopsie, is going to go on. So you want to make sure that your thank you is straight, right? You don't want your thank you at an angle. Okay, so there is that. Isn't that pretty? I love it, so pretty. Okay, we're just going to attach this to our card base. So here I have a thick Whisper White card base. It is 5.5 by 8.5 inches, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we'll fold in half along our score line. And we're going to add a little bit of fast fuse. And we're going to pop that onto the front of our card. Just like that. Okay, and then again on my sample I've added a few little sequins. Okay, you can do that, and then I'm going to do another bow. I was really torn about whether or not this card needs a bow because I think it looks quite nice without it. I think it works both ways, but I'm all about the bows, so we're going to do another bow because we can. So again, making my bunny ears. Crossing left over right. This is the glitter organdy, black glitter organdy ribbon, organdy glitter ribbon, glittered organdy ribbon from the annual catalog. This was actually in last year's holiday and carried over, and I was mighty glad it did because I love the little touch of bling, and I love that it's sheer, so it doesn't add too much to a card, but just enough, and of course just that little bit of shine. So now I can go ahead and add my bow to the top of my label. So we'll just take a glue dot, pop it on there, and we're done. Okay, there's the one that I finished with the rhinestone, or sorry, the sequins. And then again, I just added some stamped poppies on the inside. Okay, all right, so let me bring all 3 projects back again so you can see them. I'll bring the ones that actually have the sequins on them because I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. And I want to tell you about another video I have planned for this week because, well, I have time on my hands and we are all stuck at home. So I thought, why not stamp with you guys? Stamping makes me happy. I hope stamping makes you guys happy. So I thought, let's stamp some more. Why not? So these are the 3 cards from today. They were a little bit more involved. Used lots of die cuts and lots of stuff. But this week I want to also show you how easy it is to make beautiful cards using just stamps, ink, and paper. So I'm going to clear these out of the way, and I'm going to show you the 4 cards that we are going to make in a video this Thursday. So all of these 4 cards, 5 cards. We're doing 5 cards. Why not? 5 cards use just stamps, ink, and paper. Okay, so no dies, no special tools. I did use a paper trimmer here, and I'll show you how to do that. But we are going to make these 5 cards together on Thursday night. So if you have the Painted Poppy stamp set, you can even stamp along with me. It is really straightforward. But I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful backgrounds and create really, really lovely cards fast and easy using just that stamp set. Okay, so that will be this Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. So I'm going to go prime time this Thursday evening. Okay, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I will put up some reminders this week to remind you, and I will see you hopefully back on Thursday. Okay, thanks everybody for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. Bye for now.